What's going on, guys? It's your man Ed Hayes here, back for another episode of the Wholesaler Mastermind podcast. And guys, in this one, I am super glad, super proud to bring on a guy that reached out to me about 4 years ago looking for guidance in the wholesaling space. He went on from there to starting to coach people himself, making hundreds of thousands of dollars in the process. Then went on to be an award-winning real estate author. Like, you know what I'm saying? So then at this point, actually becoming my business partner in the business with me out here, the strong grind way. Y'all hear me? So, man, super, super pumped for this one, man. This is my brother from another mother, Najee. How is it going, my brother?
Oh, it's going great. It's going great. I'm glad to be here with you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for
Hey,
bringing
nah,
me on.
hey, my pleasure, bro. My pleasure. Super, super pumped to have you on, bro. So, for all of the people out there, obviously, I know you pretty well, but why don't you just go ahead and just introduce yourself to the community?
My name is Najee Wyatt. I am the award-winning author of the book on estate hacking, where I show people how to earn success regardless of their current financial situation. I actually have a copy of the book here, dedicated to
Ooh,
my grandmother. You can see her behind me
hey.
sitting on the porch. We're out here getting some of this fresh air.
Hey, nah, you say you came prepared, my
Oh,
man.
yes.
The right way indeed. Okay, so bro, tell people, like now you've done, all of these different things. Talk about like how did you actually get started in the real estate space though? Talk about that beginning.
Oh man. So I got a real good friend of mine. Shout out to Rel. We used to watch Property Brothers in his apartment, and this was probably back in 2013, 2014. And we were trying to figure our way on, how to get into real estate. And we really didn't have very many avenues as far as inspiration to look for of an example. So I'm thinking I need to get $50,000 together to do a fix and flip. That's what I thought that we needed to do.
Mm.
So we were like, how can we get the money up to do a fix and flip? Eventually, someone had reached out, and we had a friend that was driving semi trucks that was making really good money at the time. So me and my friend, we went off and got our CDL,
Mm.
and the money was so good driving trucks. I did lose focus. I'm not gonna lie. I ended up doing 47 states, almost 600,000 miles. Of never caused an accident. But during the
Mm.
process of me being in the truck, I was able to start a real estate company, and I went all in. I've had times where I fell on my face, but there was a point in time where I hopped out the truck, and that's when I reached out to you. Like,
Right.
look, man, it was actually your wife who had sent me a calendar link. Like, hey, I reached out in the group. I'm looking for some guidance. She said,
Hey.
contact my husband, and I
Shout out
reached
to
out to
wifey.
you, man. And there was just a couple mentors that I went through that weren't for me. One was charging 15,000, and after a month, we didn't really do it. Like, we hadn't done anything,
Mm.
and I needed to get that refund. Another coach, I just think that she was too busy for me. I think that her course was more for like introductory people on how to teach you to think like an entrepreneur and how to get you out of thinking like
Mhm.
a 9 to 5.
Right.
When I approached her, I already had my business running. I had my business cards, I had my website, I was ready to go. I already ran businesses before, and
Right.
it just wasn't up to what I needed in order to really excel me forward. So
Mm.
thank you for actually, just thinking about my side and guiding me the right way. No
Right.
fluff, always keeping it real. Saved me a bunch of money. There were times where I just, hey man, I'm about to go out and put this on this and do this. He was like, hey, look,
Right.
man, I'm not sure if I would do that just yet. So just
Right.
having someone there to hold my hand and make sure that I don't get hit by any cars while crossing the street. That's all I needed.
Right,
So
right, man, long journey. I remember those first conversations that we had with each other. You're like, man, I'm getting screwed over here. I'm getting screwed over here. I think our first conversation, we talked to each other for like a couple hours or more or something like that. It's crazy. So yeah,
yep.
man, it's been a long journey. So actually, I want to talk about like the journey to actually get that first deal. Actually, like let's kind of pop into that. Let's kind of pop into that. Like,
Okay.
what did it actually take or whatever? Like, what did you have to go through? Like, any adversities and stuff like that on that first deal? Talk about that.
Yeah, there was a lot of adversity to get the first deal, from the point in time that I actually started taking action going through different mentors, falling on my face, a lot of trial and error. It took me over 2 years to
Mm,
get my first deal. So
okay.
with driving semi trucks, I always had a lot of money coming in.
Right.
So I'm buying this program, I'm getting this software, and I put over $20,000 worth of stuff into my business, realizing now I teach people like, hey, I don't care if you owe the bank $1,000, we can get that in the positive in the next 2 to 4 weeks. We could change the situation. So
Right.
me thinking that I needed to throw a bunch of money into it and relying on the things that I invested in to do the work for me instead of me actually doing the hard work myself, being consistent. And when you're consistently doing the wrong thing and you don't know what you're doing, it just feels like you're doing a lot of hard work. And that's what it was feeling like to me. But I just wasn't doing it right and I didn't know.
Mm,
So that first deal, it came after 2 years. It was $4,500. And the guy that I closed on the property with, he was cool. He was actually a millionaire. He owned
mm,
he owned over 30 properties and he knew what I was doing. Very, very, very
right.
friendly guy. Hey, shout out to Mr. Washington. If you're watching this, I appreciate you. And we still do deals together. So on that particular deal, the title company ended up sending my whole assignment fee to him.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's a
So
whole situation.
yeah, that was a lot of fun on that particular deal. But of course, he gave it back and we're still closing deals today.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Sounds like humble beginnings, realistically, like to actually have to go through a large time frame like that and hang on and not give up. Like most people give up, bro. So I got to commend you for just continuing to push because honestly, like a lot of super success stories that I know out here in the wholesaling space, it took them a long time to really kind of get those wheels turning where things started to get more consistent or finally get that first one. Sometimes it takes a long time to actually get it through. I think a lot of people may think that it just happens overnight or it's going to be magical or that that first deal is going to come in 2 weeks or that you only got to call like 20 people and you're going to, be making 5 figures a month or something like that. And so
Right.
like I'm glad that you're actually, keeping it real. Like, hey, look, it took me quite some time to actually get that first one.
It
And most
did.
people aren't going to
It
say
really
that.
did. It really
Man.
did.
Well, hey, here's what I want to so here's what I want to kind of get into or whatever. Like I know that you went from those humble beginnings, right? But then you started to transition into actually getting deals, actually closing. Boom, you start coaching people. You got a lot of stuff that you've accomplished or whatever, right? But I kind of want to jump into this 87K in 30 days. That's the real thing that I wanted to bring you on here for because that's what people be wanting to hear about. They want to hear about those big boy months. They want to know how they can go out here and get these high 5 figure, 6 figure months and really start to transform their lives and their families' lives. So let's kind of get into that 87K in 30 days. Like, how did that actually come about? Give us the details, all of that.
So yeah, that was a great month. That came from me helping other people get what they want. So these were all deals that I did with clients, and it was only a total of 3 deals. We didn't
Mm,
shell out a bunch of deals. These were people that came and asked me for guidance. Two of them were individuals that had never closed a deal before, and another one was actually an established company that just needed some guidance hitting their desired marks. So what I do when people are getting into this is essentially we're going to set up a business for you. We're going to put people in place to work for you. It's all pertaining to your budget. And if you have the money to do it, then it's very, very easy to structure. It does take some time, but once these people are in place and they're trained and you're actually overseeing them, tracking your KPIs, and just following my instructions, then you're going to see some results. You're going to see some changes. So all in all, there were two people that had never closed a deal before. I helped them with the interviewing process and the setup of their business. I helped
mm-hmm.
them with their social media presence, which is very important, which is something that I learned from you.
Hey,
Um,
no.
Appearing properly online because people are going to look you up.
Hmm.
So with me, I don't go after small deals because for me, it's just a conversation. The difference between a $2,000 deal and a $20,000 deal, honestly, is just a zero. And you have to really believe that you deserve 20,000 versus you thinking, let me get this 2,000. No, shoot for the moon.
Right.
So I showed them what markets to go into so we can get some higher margins. And that's what we did. One of my clients, his first deal that we closed, that one was 42,500 on his first one. Um,
Sheesh.
my other client, he had already had his business running. Our first deal that we did was 35,000. And
Okay.
there was another gentleman who was, man, he's a go-getter. He's a go-getter. I love this guy to death. His first deal was 10,000,
Okay.
right out the gate. So and they're still closing deals. They're doing well on their own without me, just being able to go through the program, get that first deal, see what a business structure looks like, and then just managing your business.
Mm. Man, that's deep, man. So 3 deals. Where were these deals located? Was it like a particular part of the nation? You said it like you like to go after these bigger deals. Is it like was there a specific part of the nation that those deals came from?
So this was in the market that they picked. One of them was in Richmond. 35 was in Richmond. The 42,500 was in Dallas, well, Carrollton, which is right outside of Dallas,
Right.
and the $10,000 deal was in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay, right. So kind of all over the nation, like a
Yeah,
virtual aspect.
exactly, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that's real interesting. So I'm curious, like, did all 3 of those deals close in those 30 days? Did you like contract them and close in the 30 days? Or did it like from the time that you initially talked to the seller to the time that it closed? Was that like what's the 30-day time frame or whatever? Is that like from contract to close, or like they just all 3 happened to close in the same month?
They just also happened to close in the same month, and they were all on 30-day agreements. So
Mm.
each contract that we signed, we had 30 days to close it.
Right. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. That's real interesting. Yeah, man. You gotta love those big boy months, man. Those could be game changers. And 87K, like Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not always. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's always going to be out here doing big boy numbers like that. So now I'm curious. Um, after you did that 87K in 30 days or whatever, like, what did you reinvest that money into or whatever afterwards? I'm curious, like in terms of the business, what did you reinvest that back into?
I reinvested that back into marketing, staffing, and just overall scaling what I already had going on.
Okay. So you spent some bread.
Yeah. I did. I didn't go crazy. I didn't go buy a new car or anything crazy like that. Mainly
Okay,
business. I did treat myself, nothing crazy. I did treat myself, nothing crazy.
as you
But
should.
I'm always focused on, I always want to put as much as my money back into my business because I know essentially that's what's going to take care of me.
Boom. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. And I think that that's like one of the most important things, right? Is just reinvesting that money. People hear 87K, you're like, God dang, you know what I'm saying? And then they're thinking about all the things that they could do with it. They're doing the math, like, man, that translates into, XYZ per year, things of that nature. And that's totally true. That can't happen. So I'm curious though, like, because bro, I've seen you in some really like intense conversations and phone calls and stuff like that, or like literally every day we out here in these streets or whatever, you already know. But I'm curious, like for the audience members, like, even on this podcast right now, you're coming off as very cool, calm, stoic, relaxed. I'm curious, like, where does that that confidence on those phone calls where sellers are going in on you and stuff like that, or you're handling tough conversations, like, where does that confidence come from? Because I know that, like, on those deals that you did with your clients, I think that you mentioned that like you would hop on those phone calls to help them lock up the deals and stuff like that or whatever, right? So I'm curious, like,
Oh,
where does
yeah.
that confidence come from?
It just comes from my level of competence. So the first deal that I ever had on the hook, the most worst possible thing ever happened to me. It was going to be a $16,500 assignment. Man, and I thought that this was the deal. Like this was, I spent all this money. This was what's going to do it. The day that I'm supposed to actually, and I met with the owner. We've gone out to lunch. We've explained the agreement. I've explained the agreement. We've agreed on everything. And when I go to the house to actually sign it, the wife brought 2 real estate agents there, and
Mm.
I go from feeling like I'm on top of the world, like I'm gonna close my first deal, here we go, to just like I was depressed because I watched them just money the deal up in my face, and I didn't have the
Wow.
experience or the level of competence that I do now to where I could have put both of them in their place, or I could have put both of them in a position to where they could have made money on the deal and we could have all been friends, you know. So going through that and then having to fight hard to get that first deal, it's like, you know, what's the worst that can happen? Okay, I'm still here, I'm still alive, I'm still breathing. Let's get past the information paralysis of just watching videos for hours. And it came from taking action and going through the failure and realizing that that's the worst that can happen. Most of these people aren't going to want to move forward with me, but I'm looking for the ones that are, you know.
Right.
So I would say that my level of comfort on these phone calls comes from, I mean, I like to have fun, you know. So when I get on these calls, I'm enjoying myself. I could really be myself. I'm having real conversations with these people, and I'm not worried about what if this person says this and I don't know what to say back.
Mhm.
You have to get into the information and you have to know what you're talking about, and you won't have that problem because it's going to be simple at that point. So definitely go through the failure. Don't be afraid of it because you're still going to be here after the fact. And have your information intact. Repetitions, reps in the gym. That's all this is. You know,
Mm.
I'm not gonna get out there and throw up 500 on my first lift, but after consistency, it's like, okay, I'm in the gym now, and this is my home.
Facts, facts, facts. I really like what you said there, though. You know, like I'm confident because I'm competent. And the only way to really get competent is by getting those repetitions in, like you mentioned. I think that that's very important, something that a lot of people don't really want to do, right? A lot of people like to start off and they just want to let me throw a VA over here, boom. Let me put somebody else in position over here, boom. And they want to do as little work as possible. I think honestly, like once you get so many reps in, it's like you're eager. Like you'll wake up early. You're like Kobe and LeBron in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like before everybody
Right,
else gets there. Like that's the level of like not even competition or whatever, but just like desire to win that you start to
right.
build up as you get all of those reps in. Would you say that? Like, is it kind of like a because you've gotten so many reps in, like, do you find yourself like waking up like hungry to make these calls, eager to make offers and stuff like that on
Oh
properties?
man, every time I lock up a deal, I always have the same reaction. Or if I see a DocuSign thing, you might be on the phone with me. You might say,
Right.
"Oh, ooh, let's go." It's
Let's
like, where did that come
go.
from? And it's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. You know, my bad." And then I have the same reaction. It's like a high. It's like a rush. It's like a dopamine. It's like
Yeah.
addicted to winning. They signed it. Let's go.
Let's
Let's go to the
go.
next one. So yeah, I definitely get excited to make these calls. And really, what I focus on, and this is kind of where it shifted for me, I don't worry about, uh, I don't put my well, let me change this. I don't put my main focus on getting the deal more so than actually solving their problem. If the seller
Mm.
is like, hey, I need 400,000, I'm not going to say, well, how does 200,000 sound?
Right.
That's what everyone is saying. So my main thing is, how can I solve this person's problem? What can I do to actually get them that 400? You know, how can I put
Mhm.
them in position to get that 400,000? And
Right. Right.
that's where my success comes from.
Very, very interesting. So, in terms of that, right? Most of the people that watch this channel are just wholesalers. That's probably the only option that most people watching this channel are coming with. Like, what? Like, maybe you can, explain to the community, like, what other options can you give to a seller, or like for them to actually be able to get this high price? Maybe they're delusional on price. Maybe it's way higher than market value. Like, what type of solutions could you possibly give to somebody like that?
So if you only have like wholesaling on your tool belt, you're going to lose a lot of money. And what
Mm,
I would do if I were brand new starting in this, I would partner with someone that has multiple exit strategies. Partner with someone who understands creative finance, because if a seller is asking for 400,000 and you're offering 200,000, you're not solving the problem. You're trying to get paid. And if you put your focus on getting paid, you're not going to close many deals. If you put your focus on, well, what can I actually do to solve this person's problem? How can I get them that 400,000? When that money transfers from A to B, you're going to be right in the middle, and that you're going to grab some on the way. You know, get your hand in the deal. So I would
mhm.
definitely say partner with someone that has multiple exit strategies.
Mm. Okay, so hold on. Okay, so so in terms of those like different exit strategies, like what would be something that can actually get people more money? And we ain't gotta like deep dive it like crazy or whatever, because you know what I'm saying. But like, I'm curious, like, what would be a strategy that you would use in a situation, let's say, where it's a $400,000 property, and they're asking for 400, basically. You know what I mean? But it's not
Right.
getting any traction. Maybe some numbers are a little bit different or whatever. But like, in a situation where someone wants retail outside of working with an agent, are there any other options?
So there are, if someone is asking for retail, what I tend to do is put solutions on the table that are going to get them the retail value and explain to them, in order for you to get the retail value, we're going to go in and make sure that this home looks like a magazine. It's going to look like it came out of a magazine. I express to them what that looks like. Hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, if the magazine home is a 10, what would you say that yours is? And I let them tell me, oh, it doesn't have this and that. And that. Okay, I'd say it's about a 6. Okay, it's a 6, but you're asking for a 10 price. What can we do here? How can I help you get that 10 price? So I'll discuss bringing in a lender or even us funding the rehab and really push them in the direction so that they can get that 400,000.
Right, right, right. So several different exits, regardless of what that seller situation is, you still want to be the person that helps them make some money on their property, actually be able to sell the property. Basically, you're not just gonna let it go as easy as, well, you don't want to take this cash, that's it. Like, you've got other options on deck, even for people that want retail price.
Right, right, exactly, exactly. So another thing too is it's going to cause everyone to have trust in you because everyone else is calling and giving the lowball offer. You need to set yourself apart. And let's say you can't help them on that property. You've presented some solutions that are helpful.
Mhm.
Ask them if they have another property for sale. Hey, look, this might not be the best one for us. We might not be a good match on this, but let me ask. You have any other properties you're looking to sell? Any of your friends looking to sell? Hey, are
Right.
you looking to buy? You got any friends looking to buy? We do hold inventory. If you're looking for something in particular, let us know and I can see if I can get my hands on that for you. So you always want to be extending your hand. Hey, look, this didn't work, but I'm still here to help you. Do you need anything else? You
Right,
know?
right, right, right. It's interesting that you say that, because I know that this wasn't a part of like the podcast. I wasn't really thinking about talking about this, but you just, like, when you said that, you just reminded me of a deal that we literally have under contract right now, together, where the guy had said, like, you had sent them an offer via text actually, and he was like, "Nah, that's not gonna work." And then you message him back like, "You wouldn't happen to have any other properties you're looking to sell, would you?" Boom, he messages back like, "Yeah, actually, I do." Boom, y'all hop on a phone call, we lock it up. Boom, trying to sell that deal right now. I may even pop up some details if I edit. I may even pop up some details. Y'all need to come by this. Hit the link down below if y'all interested in that deal or want a JV on or something. We'll figure it out. But yeah, that just made me think about that though. That happens all the time, right? You want to squeeze that
Right.
orange for as much juice as possible, basically. If a seller wants to sell, you want to be the reason while they're actually selling. You want to get yourself into that stream of money that's gonna get made with or without you.
Right.
Boom.
And that's a big payday just by asking that one question.
Yeah.
Hey, I made him an offer on this property. It didn't work. Hey, do you have anything else? Hey, look, I got this over here. What do you
Boom.
think? Boom.
$50,000 spread potentially that we're looking at on that deal too. One question can make a big, big difference. Like, for real. I mean, like, wouldn't you agree though, Najee, that I believe personally what I've seen, because I know that you coach people as well and whatnot, but like, what I've seen is that typically the people that ask the best questions get the best results.
Definitely.
Like, when talking
By
to
far.
sellers, yeah, it's not necessarily, sometimes obviously it's also like how you say things as well. I think like a level of like confidence, stoicism, just like not too jittery and frantic type energy that comes off as like desperate and thirsty. I think it's like how you say it, and then just like the questions that you're actually asking, that makes a huge difference on your overall levels of success, for real.
Right. And always be willing to walk away from the deal. I think a lot of new wholesalers, they get so excited that someone's willing to sign a contract with them that they just jump into it. And it's one of those deals that are never going to go anywhere either. So they get this
Mm.
false sense of I accomplished something, but you're
Yeah.
sending a cancellation contract 4 weeks later. So stick to your numbers. If they're not within your numbers, just say, hey, look, we might not be the best match, and walk away. Ask them if they have
Boom.
any other properties, but don't just take any contract that someone's willing to sell. If your maximum allowable offer is 150,000 and they're like 160, don't do it.
Right, right. But yeah, you got to stick to your guns. A lot of wholesalers are literally just folding immediately. Okay, Mr. Seller, you say your property is worth that. Okay, all right. I guess I can just make up these comps and I can stretch the numbers. So hopefully, maybe I can make some money. Now you got to stick to your guns. You got to be able to walk away because they're basically just bullying you into a contract that's not going to make sense. And then they're going to ultimately be mad at you for not getting the job done.
It's a fact.
But Najee, I wanted to ask you this though, because like we're kind of speaking about negotiations and whatnot. What's the biggest negotiation that you've personally been a part of? Talk about the biggest possible negotiation that you've had up to this point.
Wow. That one was. So there's a deal. I have a partner. She's a commercial broker in Florida, and she's made a lot of money. She's very successful, and we've been working together for about a year. And she presented an opportunity. It was 162 acres, waterfront property. They're asking for 150 million. So my responsibility is to bring an investor to the table. We're able to find one, and set up a conference call for us all to meet and for us to discuss the deal. Their offer was like $45 million lower than what the seller was asking for, so they didn't do the deal.
Very, very interesting. And you know that does happen as well. Like you're not going to get all of them, but not all of these deals are created equal. Some of them can be a lot more intense, a lot bigger, a lot more money on the line on some of these deals.
Yeah, though. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I love those conversations. I always get excited at moments like that because it's like, this is what I worked so hard for.
Yeah, right, right. I know that that's the thing that we've been like actively doing as well is just trying to increase the size of those spreads. We're actively working on like $500,000 deals right now and things like that because it's like it doesn't really take that much more effort to do an enormous deal than it does to take like do like a really, really small one realistically.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that, man. Y'all got to increase those spreads, especially if you're double closing and stuff like that. But that's for another podcast. All right, so let's see. All right, so tell me about this. I know that I just asked you about like the biggest negotiation. What about like what's one of the toughest situations that you've experienced so far? Like since getting into the game, like detail like a challenging moment in your business where maybe you were questioning whether you wanted to keep going or maybe it just got you really, really upset. Give me an example of something like that.
I would say there's two in particular. There was that first deal where I had my business set up, and I was really, when that lead came in and I thought I had it, I literally stopped marketing. So that was
Mhm,
one of the mistakes that I made, was I stopped marketing and I just went after that deal. But watching
mhm,
that deal fall apart in front of my face, that was difficult. And there was another deal that I had where I found a buyer. There was a $40,000 spread on it from me, and I think my partner on it was going to make 20,000,
mhm,
and the lender didn't fund on time. So they kept on having to extend the contract. The buyer that I
mhm,
brought to the table was depending on a lender, and the
mhm,
lender was, ignoring my phone calls, saying little funny stuff to me when I would call. I would call from
mhm.
another number, and, oh, you're trying to play a game, and I'm not trying to play a game. I'm trying to find out what's going on with this money. We're trying to close. We have obligations to the seller, you know, and you'll answer for this strange number, but you won't answer for my number. So you have the lender playing games, the property's not closing, the seller's getting impatient. My partner on the deal is like, hey, what's going on with your buyer? And it was just so
Mm.
much pressure because I'm like, this is a $40,000 payday that I'm going to make, and these people out here playing games. That deal fell through. Like I lost that deal, and yeah, the seller backed out. There was supposed to be a 30-day agreement. And I'd say like after maybe 90 days, the seller was just like, because it kept on getting, they kept on doing like the runaround type of thing
Mm.
where the seller comes in, hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? Then I'm checking with the buyer. The buyer's telling me, hey, my lender's not responding. It's like I'm in the middle, you know. It's a difficult situation.
Right. What can
It's
you do?
just being in the middle. So you just gotta continue to market, you know, and continue to go after the other deals to fill your pipeline, and don't rely on that big situation to happen. Keep moving
Mm.
forward. Keep moving forward. But yeah, that was when that fell through. It was difficult for me to for me to get the traction back. You know, I was like, oh,
Man, hey, I know the feeling, bro, for real. Like that's why I think like like a really key takeaway from what you just said there is that you have to make sure that you're not putting all of your eggs into one basket. Super, super important. You know, I think that's what a lot of us do starting off. We're thinking like, hey, look, this one is hitting, and we start to just put all of our energy, all of our effort into this deal that may or may not close. And it maybe it's
right,
because it's so large, we think like, okay, I need to prioritize this one. Yeah, maybe, but you shouldn't just only focus on that one. You got to be able to kind of like, balance your time out in a way that actually makes sense for you to be able to make money out here. I'd say like typically you want to have somewhere between 2 to 5 deals under contract actively marketing out to buyers at any given time, just so you're not hopefully maybeing your business out here. You want to give yourself
right.
the best chance of winning. Seriously, what say you about that though?
I definitely agree. It takes a lot to actually get a deal to close. A lot of people don't
Mhm.
realize, you know, we can close a deal in 30 days, but sometimes that lead you're working on, you might not get to the closing table for 3 to 4 months. You might have to work on them to get the price that you needed at, and it's going to take some time. That discourages a lot of people because we all want that instant gratification. Oh, they can make this in 30 days. I can. You just have to stick with it and be consistent and keep your pipeline filled, because when one deal falls through, there's another one behind it that's going to close. Just keep on
Boom,
pushing them through. Keep on pushing
boom.
them through.
Just like that, man, for real. That's what the goal always is. Like you have to have enough inventory to actually get some stuff sold. Even if you had like a convenience store, not every single product is selling every day. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like you gotta have enough inventory so when people come in, they got a selection, they can get what they want. And it's gonna make sense for them. Different flavors. You know what I'm saying? If you will.
Right.
Right. Not too much inventory though, because then you can also get overwhelmed and now you're throwing money down the drain on that end as well. But that's a whole nother story, right? It can get real, real crazy out here real fast, seriously.
It
So,
can.
all right. So, man, I enjoy having these types of conversations because at the end of the day, we're really we're just having a conversation or whatever, like kind of diving into the business, talking about different things, in the business and stuff. But I'm curious, bro. Here's something that I ask basically everybody that come onto the podcast, and maybe we can even deep dive this a little bit. But what would you say would be your best advice to a brand new wholesaler getting started out here? What would be your best advice?
My best advice for a brand new wholesaler getting out here, I would study and I would become as knowledgeable as you possibly can, because the more you know, the more valuable you're going to be. And study other exit strategies aside from just a cash offer. Focus on problem solving and actually helping people versus trying to make the money, because what's going to make the money is you solving problems.
Mm, mm, mm. That's a gem right there, man. Hey, Najee out here dropping bars for real. For real
Yes,
though.
sir.
Now, I think in 2023 that's basically required. Like you mentioned earlier, whatever. I totally, totally agree. I totally, totally agree that right now in 2023, if you're only coming with that low ball wholesale offer, good luck, guys. Good luck. It's not that easy out here because in all reality, you have to be able to give options. People don't want to feel like you're just screwing them or giving them that one low ball wholesale offer. People want to feel like you legitimately have their best interests in mind. And it's hard for them to feel like that if you're not actively giving them several different options. You sound just like everybody else, basically.
Exactly.
So yeah, I totally, totally agree, bro. So let's talk about the book, bro. Matter of fact, because like I know that you're like officially an award-winning author out here. The book on estate hacking, So I'm very curious. Like, how did the book come about? Um, like what caused you to want to write a book? What has happened since writing the book? Have you leveraged it? Things like that, or whatever. I'm really, really curious to hear the book journey. Let's talk about that.
Awesome. So I've been wanting to write a book for a while. It took me about a year to complete
Mm.
that one. And like I said, I dedicated it to my grandmother, who you see
Hey, nah.
out
Shout
here
out to
enjoying
Granny.
some fresh air. So with the book, I wasn't really sure how to structure it. I knew what I wanted to talk about, but I've never written a book before, and ended up coming across. There's a New York top 10 best-selling author by the name of Raymond Aaron. Thank you, Raymond. If you're watching this, I love you so much. I appreciate you. So I didn't know that when I met him that he was not only a real estate agent and then had invested in over 1,000 properties, but he'd also done 500 million in real estate.
Mm.
So when I presented my concept, he pretty much wrote the forward for me and published it, and he gave me an award for it too. So the award that I got is called the Real Estate Mentor and Consulting Award, and
Mm.
I should have brought that out too. I got that, but that was really neat, because I never knew that it could transpire into that, from me thinking like, okay, I want to write a book. I want to write a book about real estate. What should the name be? How can I be as helpful as I possibly can, to linking up with him. And he's written 147 books. He's a top
Mm.
10 New York Times bestselling author. And he's also the only author to be featured in a For Dummies series, as
Mhm.
well as the Chicken Soup for the Soul books. He's in
Mm.
he's in those as well. Very prestigious. One of 9 people that have been paid $1 million for a 90-minute speech, along with, I know you know who Tony Robbins is, Brian Tracy, that crowd. So
Interesting.
just to be able to work with him, I'm very, very, very grateful, and I'm very thankful that he saw value in what I was trying to put out into the world, and actually helped me.
Boom. So like the book is called the book on estate hacking. So talk about that. Like what is estate hacking, or like what are you talking about inside of the book?
So estate hacking is using your mind to leverage for, let's say, money you might not have. I can talk my way into a multi-million dollar contract with my bank account in the negative, with these people like, oh yes, he has the money to buy it. He's ready to
Right.
go, and they'll literally put it under contract, and I can make a 5 to 6 figure commission on that. So there's actually ways to get into deals that don't require you to have a bunch of credit. They don't require you to have a bunch of money, and you don't have to have a license either. I don't have a real estate license. And I tell people that all the time, and they're like, what? You don't have a license? No, I thought that I needed 50,000 for a fix and flip. I got into driving trucks, and along the way, this is what it turned into. So
Mm.
the book on estate hacking is essentially showing people an introduction into how this business is ran. And I want to make sure that it doesn't take you 2 years to get your first deal like it did me. A lot of people, um, they don't last 2 months trying
Yeah.
to do this when they don't get that deal.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to show people, how to get right to the point and what actually works versus what doesn't work.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. And so where can people find this book? Like if people want to go check it out or whatever, like how could they actually grab this book from you?
You go to my website, thebookonestatehacking.com. There's some
Oh,
contracts you can download there as well. And it's also on Amazon. So
okay.
www.thebookonestatehacking.com. There's a link on my website for the book, or you can just go straight to Amazon. It's available on Kindle as well.
Okay. Okay. Boom. Straight like that.
Yes, sir.
All right. So okay. So yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. And then also I know that you got the www.meetnajee.com.
So you can go there, and there's a link for the book in there, as well as all my social media handles where you can follow me, and you can also book appointments on my calendar if you want to work one-on-one with me.
Hey, nah. Hey, man, look, I'm just gonna tell y'all like this. I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all, man. Najee is a beast. I don't know if y'all understand, man. Y'all need to go check out some of my most recent videos on the YouTube channel. This dude, this dude be locking them up live literally every single day, man. We be out here live in our virtual office. Najee is literally a beast, man. If y'all really want to get some hands-on next level advice, literally hold your hand and walk you through this stuff and have you out here beasting deals before you know it. I swear on
Yes.
everything I love, I can actually vouch that this dude, he gets the job done like at a high level. And I've seen him literally bring clients in and they out here strong arm and stuff. Like, ah, damn, I see you, bro. I see you. You know, so hey, I'm gonna put some respect on his name for real. So guys, man, Najee, how could somebody actually like work with you? I know that you got the meet Najee. Is that the best way for them to get in contact with you, or like how would you want people to actually get in contact with you?
So you could follow me on social media and reach out to me directly. I'm not going to answer 21 questions because if 100 people hit me with 21 questions, I got 2,100 questions to answer, and I'll be working all day for free.
Mhm.
So if you do want to work directly with me, the best thing that I could tell you to do is to book directly on my calendar. There's a link if you go to meetnajee.com where you can actually reserve a booking, or you can simply go to calendly.com/industry insider, and that's my direct link to work with me.
Boom, just like that, man, just like that. So Najee, I'm trying to think, like, is there anything else that we missed? Is there anything else that you like to add into the conversation before we start to wrap it up?
Uh, I would say if you're getting started and you're having trouble, join as many groups as you can on Facebook. Ask as many questions as you can in the free groups. There's ton. I'm probably in 200 real estate groups,
Mm.
and sometimes I go through and answer people's questions. So you want to go in these groups. You want to ask questions. Always provide value as well. Don't just be someone that's just taking and taking and taking. See where you can provide value in someone's situation. There's a lot of other ways to make money aside from just closing a deal. You don't have to focus on, oh, I have to close this deal. I need to be good at negotiating. I need to be. What if you're good at marketing? You can offer that service to someone's business, and while you're working with their business, ask them questions about real estate. If you're on their team, it would be in their best interest for them to give you all the game because they're trying to duplicate themselves to save time and delegate tasks. So always offer value. Don't give up, and yeah, just be in it for the long run, and take it a day at a time.
Hey, nah, man, I couldn't have said it better for real, man. I couldn't have said it better. So, man, Najee, man, this has been a great one, bro, for real. Hey, and for everyone that's watching, just know that you're gonna be seeing a lot more of Najee around here. Like I told y'all,
Oh
we're
yeah, I'm out here.
you get what I'm saying? Y'all gonna be seeing his face all over this internet, all over this channel. Even like I said, like this is literally my business partner right here. We do deals together. We out here breaking bread, and when I'm talking about, oh yeah, the business, this da 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 da. I'm talking about this dude right here. I just want y'all to understand that or whatever. So it's very very clear. So yeah, man. Like I want y'all to see a lot more of Najee. He's got so much value to give to the community. So I can't wait for him to like unleash himself upon y'all. That sounded a little weird, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. Funny as ever. But yeah, though, guys. This has been a great one though, Najee. I would love to have you back soon. Actually, we may even start doing like some weekly sessions live, answering you all's questions and stuff like that. Maybe some live calls. Maybe we have y'all bring y'all deals and we lock them up live.
Oh
Who
yeah,
knows? You know what I'm
yeah. Give me
saying?
some sellers to call. I'll
Yep.
do
Hey,
it.
it may be coming up soon, man. So make sure that y'all stay on the lookout. If y'all haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to this channel right now, wherever you're watching this at. And guys, anyway, though, guys, man, make sure that y'all reach out with get up with my man's Najee, though. Like for real, get up with Najee. Actually get some of that guidance, some of that feedback. Go follow him on social, book a call, whatever it is, get some of that value. He's gonna be dropping a lot more coming up here real soon.
Indeed, indeed.
Bang, bang. All right, bro. Anything else? Any last words?
Oh no, sir. I definitely appreciate you having me on. Pleasure to work alongside of you. And yeah, let's give as much value as we can to these folks out here trying to learn it the right way, the strong on way.
The strong
Let's
arm way,
do it.
baby. Let's go. All right, though, guys. All right, then. Well, until next time, guys, we are out.